Static objects in programming might sound like a techie term. Ever been curious about static meaning? You're in the right place. Today, I'll break it down in simple terms so any new programmer can understand it. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. Today we are going to talk about static object. Now in previous video, we talked about accessibility. In another video, we talked about classes and we said that most of the time you need to create new instances of an object to use it. However, in some special cases, you need a persistent global object that will stay in memory and you don't need to instantiate it and you just want to have access to it all the time. And that is when statics come in handy. For example, let's talk about a math helper class. In this example, you don't need to instantiate this class over and over and over. You just want a single class that has some methods, and these methods are all handling different complex math calculations, so that you want to call one method and get the result out, and you don't need to have hundreds of these classes sitting all over the place, making the garbage collector cry, deleting them all over the place. One single instance of this math helper class sitting in memory would be sufficient for the rest of the program to function properly. In this example, you would define this class as a static. So a static object is a single instance object that sits in memory and you don't need to instantiate it, but everything out there in your program will have access to this instance in memory without creating new copies of it. So it's just there and it's accessible for everything as long as this program exists. And for defining a static object, it's exactly the same concept and syntax by using the same word. For example, we will use something like this. We define a public class in C#, for example, and it's a class. We call this class, I don't know, person, okay? Our curly braces. However, here we add the name static. As simple as that. Just by adding this static name here in the class definition, we make this class being static. And remember, when a class or any object is static, you can't create a new instance of it. So if down the road you have a code like this that says, hey, person A equals to new person, and by the way, this is how we instantiate an object inside C#. If you have something like this, it will yell at you because it says that, hey, person is a static, I can't make a new copy of it. It's just there, use it. Why do you want a new copy of something that shouldn't be a copy and it's persistent? So static objects are not instantiable. Keep that in mind. And when do you want to use a static object? Most of the time when you are dealing with helper objects. So if you have a helper class like that math example, yes, you want to have a static class. Sometimes on a very special class, you want a persistent data. For example, on a person class, you want to have something like, I don't know, string USA code, okay? And this USA code would be something like +1, and that is why I started with the string, because I want that plus there. Now, it's always the same thing. Every time you have a person, you want to have access to this string thing. But here's the thing. You may want to get access to this USA code without instantiating a person. Because if you would want to have this USA code only when you are instantiating a person, it was easy to just make it public. Then every instance would have access to this. However, if you don't want to make an instance, but you want to be able to call this value without instantiating, that is when you may want to make this single object as a static. Now inside your code, you can call something like this: person, putting a dot, and then say USA code. And as simple as that, you will get access to the static value without instantiating a copy of the person class. Don't worry if this looks confusing for you right now. We will talk about different languages later down the road, but here I just want to give you the core concepts for different languages, because Java has statics, C# has a statics, C++ has a statics. So you have to understand what is the static before we dive into different languages and how we use them. And I think these short videos are a good starting point for talking about theory and concepts. If you don't know any theory or concept about something in programming in general, take a look at that playlist. You may find something useful. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.